everybody. This is Richard Sachs, your host for Lost Arts Radio, coming to you worldwide. This is our show for the 14th of May, 2017, Sunday. And if you were with us last week, you know that we had Dr. Bill Warner on, who's been doing a series with us on the basics of Islam, because most of us really didn't understand what it was about, and it's in the news now all the time. So I felt like just, making comments without knowing more what we're actually speaking about wasn't as responsible as learning what was involved, and it's been a really educational series. I recommend that everybody go back and listen to the archives on all the basic subjects within Islam. And I wanted to tell you, too, that we're still getting some comments that think that I'm being too hard on Muslims, which is kind of a misunderstanding of what we're doing here. I'm doing this partly because we feel that everybody's just as important, as the same spirit inside them, and no one needs to be looked down on or looked at as a separate antagonistic group at all. We all could be in harmony, which is really our point here. The reason we take the time to be on the air is for health on all levels, one of which is harmony between different individuals. So what we're doing is just looking at the idea of programming, and that if you're programmed by a belief system, it doesn't matter if it's Islam or some other religion or some other belief system that's not about religion, and it's telling you to harm other people and that you should kill people because God hates them and all these things, we need to be conscious enough to think, wow, maybe that's not right, and there's something else going on, and whatever's written down and people are telling me to do, I need to be true to what is inside myself and be quiet enough to stop listening to the programming and break free of it. So these programs are for the sake of not just Muslims, but for everybody who's being caught inside a program that's really not what they feel inside themselves to be true. And one thing I like to do on the programs is highlight and give attention to really courageous people who break out of their own programming and go against what they're told that they have to always do for their whole life that's destructive. And let everybody know that you can be exactly the same way and break out of whatever's keeping you from being yourself. So tonight we have one of those people with us, fortunately. We're very lucky to get Sandra Solomon on the show, who's talked to Bill Warner before, if you watch his videos. And Sandra was in Saudi Arabia and the Muslim culture as a Muslim there, and has come to the West. And I wanted to hear her experience, and just really grateful that she's here. So thank you for the time, Sandra. I'm really appreciative that you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be with you. Thank you.
What I'd like to do is just to really make it more personal and bring people into what we're talking about, go way back before any of these ideas ever came to you, into your earlier life, and take your time and describe what that was like and what made you feel like things had to be different.
When it comes to Islamic
I think were you
lifestyle?
You were born in Saudi Arabia, right?
I was born in a city called Ramallah in the West Bank. And we moved to Jordan, and then finally we settled in Saudi Arabia. I was 9 years old.
I see. Okay.
When I moved to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And so I've been there most of my life.
You were brought up before Saudi Arabia in a different Islamic culture, right?
A little bit. I can't remember that much because I was in Jordan.
Okay.
Yes. But in Saudi Arabia, the constitution, it's 100% Sharia law constitution.
Okay.
It's not a secular country or semi-secular.
So tell us the difference of what changed when you went from Jordan to Saudi Arabia, if you remember.
Lots of things, because when we used to go summertime vacation from Saudi Arabia to Jordan, almost every year, it's a bit different, but still, the communities are Muslim. It's majority Muslims country. Okay. So when it comes to Jordan, the only little bit of the difference that by the law of the country, women are not forced to wear the hijab.
I see.
But the hijab, it's been by the family. It's Islamic culture.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that you bring it up because in America, a lot of the non-Muslim people don't understand the difference between the hijab and the burqa. So can you explain what each one of those is?
Yes, the hijab is to cover the head. Of course, it's the whole body eventually. The burqa or the niqab is to cover the face.
I see.
Cover the face, yes.
Okay.
So between Jordan and Saudi Arabia, not a huge difference. Like, it's a slight difference, but not a huge difference. Still, at the end, it's majority Muslim. And every Muslim on earth, they believe that the Quran, their constitution. They don't believe in any other law. Only the law that came from Sharia law, from the Quran and the Hadith.
Okay. Okay, so
which is the faith and the life of Muhammad, the founder of Islam.
Right, so there's actually three major scriptures, right? The Quran, the Sirah, and the Hadith?
The Quran and the Hadith. The Sirah, it's included like from the Hadith.
I see.
Like the Hadith, it's what Muhammad said and what Muhammad did. In general, they call it Sirah.
Okay. So the Hadith is what they call the traditions, right? And the Sirah is his life. Is that correct?
Yeah, like the life of Muhammad.
Okay. So whether you're in Jordan or in Saudi Arabia, it's still basically the same foundation of life that comes from those 2 or 3 books.
Exactly. Mainly the Quran.
Okay.
And they just copy Muhammad. Whatever he said, they say. Whatever he did, they do.
Okay. All right. So obviously, if you're a man and you're supposed to have Mohammed as the ideal role model,
of course.
What ideal role model is for women?
The wife of Muhammad.
Okay.
Like Aisha, Khadija, all of them.
Okay, each one of those.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Or his daughters,
right.
Like his family, the woman from his family.
Okay. So, just let us know what that was like. I mean, try to give people a feeling so that they feel like they are there and they know what it's like.
Well, as I said, I moved to Saudi Arabia when I was 9 years. Mm-hmm. So basically, all my education, I got it from Saudi Arabia. Okay. And I start from the school. We learned, we used to memorize the Quran. We used to study the Hadith and memorize the Hadith. And we used to study how to recite the Quran and the explanation. They call it commentary of the Quran. We have to understand, to what this verse mean, and from many books, the commentary books as well, the authentic one. Okay. So basically, all my education, all the way till high school, was mainly Islamic. And in Saudi Arabia, at the school, they focus only mainly on the Islamic subjects. We did not study very much like the other subject. Okay, we'll take a little bit of geography, a little bit of history, a little bit of math, or whatever, and of course the Arabic language itself. But the main focus onto the Islamic. We'll have at the school day, we will have 2 or 3 classes or 4 classes, Islamic classes, and then the rest of the day a little bit of history, a little bit of geography, and so on and so forth. So
is it all taught in Arabic, I assume?
Of course, everything in Arabic. We did not learn good English. The English, they start teach a little bit almost a high school. They don't teach English. Okay.
Well, when did you learn English?
When I came to Canada, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't spoke in English at all back home. So.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So
yes, I went to school, ESL school, for about like 6 months.
Okay.
And then the rest of it, it's like mainly like self-study.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so back starting when you were 9 years old, you were in the equivalent of the higher levels of elementary school, at least that they have over here. And so how long is the school day? You said half of it, or a little more than half, was in Islamic studies, and then a little bit of other things after that.
Yes, a little bit of other thing until when I get to the high school, we had a subject called psychology. Mm-hmm. But of course, it's not like, I would say, concentrated, just a little bit, like not a very big book. But I like it. You know, I fall in love with the psychology.
Okay.
And from there, I start like my rebelling or my questioning Islam. I start from mid-school to high school. I start to rebel, and the main thing and the first thing that make me rebel and start to dislike the Islamic way of life is the hijab. And later on, the cover, the niqab, and you know, we had to cover our faces. We were forced to do it. It's not our choice.
Okay, now the hijab again does not cover the face, right? And so
the hijab is not covering the face. When I was like 9, 10 years, and they forced us to wear the hijab, like to cover our hair, to cover our body, with the whole, what do you call it, abaya, the black one. It's the black. Okay. Like in Saudi Arabia, women, all of them, they wear the black.
Yes.
Like we're not allowed to wear any colorful hijabs, right?
Is that whole black outfit, is that part of the hijab?
That's the hijab.
That is the hijab. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the part that you see Western Muslim women sometimes, that's just covering their hair down to their, say, the middle part of their back. What do you call that?
Like the woman who is wearing the hijab on, like the veil to cover their head, and the rest of their body, they're not wearing.
Just their head down to their shoulders or so, and that's all. It's kind of like some kind of scarf or something, right?
Okay.
So
according to Sharia law,
is that part of the hijab? That's what I'm wondering. I know this is a dumb question, but just to understand it.
No. I know. Some women, they wear just the headscarf without the full coverage of the body, right? They just wear.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right.
Normal clothes, like whatever, jeans and top and the head cover.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable according to Sharia law. These women, they are not following Sharia law.
Okay. So they're just like taking a little piece of the Sharia law, and the rest of it is Western.
Yes, they have to cover their face, their body as well, because the body figure should not be exposed. Like no one should see the waist, the shoulder, the arms, the thing. Right. Everything has to be covered.
The whole shape and the outline of the body has to be visible. Okay, got it.
Exactly. This is if they are wearing tight jeans and tight whatever skirt, even if and they're wearing the head cover. This is according to Sharia law. These girls they should be punished.
Right, and that's because they're forcing men to have terrible behavior, right, by their clothes.
Exactly, because apparently this tight clothes, it could make the man goes, they might harass them sexually, and they might cause problems. Yes.
Which would be the fault of the women for not wearing the hijab.
Exactly, for not covering herself properly.
Okay.
Why she is the one who caused the seduction.
Okay.
For men, and therefore, if he raped her, if he did anything, that's her fault.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and so the burqa is just the part over your face then, right?
The burqa, it's like to cover the face and to keep a little slight open the eyes.
Right, yeah, okay, just so you can see.
You can also call the burqa or niqab, you know, also for the full face cover. It could be.
Okay. Are those the same thing?
There's some ladies, some women, they cover their face fully. Even the eyes is not even open. In Saudi Arabia, where most of women, they cover their face fully, not even the eyes. Even the eyes is not open.
How can they see to walk around?
Because that's one of the reasons that makes me going crazy. I don't want this because it's so hard to see, and it's also, if it's see-through, it also could be a problem. The fabric itself, some of the fabric, it's like you can see still like a little bit through it, but that's what it is. Like, and it's not about the vision as well. Like, it's the breathing. The breathing. It's so hard.
Right. Yeah, because you're breathing the same air over and over, right?
Yes, it's like health-wise, medical-wise, it's not good.
Right.
So, in most cases, women, they cover fully the face, not even a slight of eyes showing in Saudi Arabia.
Is this to show that they're more devoted to Islam?
Yes. And apparently that many women, they don't even know that covering the face, it's not mentioned at all, not even in the Quran, not even in the Hadith.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Not even.
So when did that start? Did you ever find out who started
it? Just because, at the time of Mohammed, or the time of the people living in a desert, right?
Yeah.
So the sand and all that, they have to cover the face.
Okay.
Think about, you're going into safari. What are you going to do? Are you going to let the sand come to your eyes and come to your face? Are you going to leave it open like this, or are you going to automatically cover your face?
Well, certainly if it's blowing at all, if there's wind, I mean,
of course.
Sand can take the paint off a car, so you don't want it on your face.
Exactly. So basically, look, we need to think, okay? We need to think at the time of the 7th century, when the people used to live in that area.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's not, it's like people used to cover it, like, not all the time, I would say, like, only, like, when the sand comes and whatever.
Right,
so it becomes like, when they leave the tent and when they go on the horses, running of the horses, you know what I mean? People like that, think about it. Think about safari, so you will understand.
When the sand is blowing, the men and the women all have to be covered.
Exactly. But now,
and that was even before Mohammed.
Exactly. Now they just get the women to cover their face because they call it in Arabic. Women are aura. Aura mean she causes a fitna. Fitna means seduction. Like a woman, she is at the end of the day, woman in Islam, she's just a sex object.
Okay.
So everything around her has to be like they used to lie to us when we were young. You know how they brainwash the kids, the girls?
Yeah.
They used to tell us, oh, you are so precious. You should thank Allah because you were born Muslim. Only Muslim women are precious to Allah. Only Muslim women. Only Allah loves Muslim women, not the kafir women, not the infidel women. The infidel women who do not wear the hijab, who do not submit, whatever, they are filthy. They're not clean. They are sexually, they don't have a moral. They don't have a respect for their body.
Right.
So they brainwash us with this.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry. And they told us, like, when you are young, like, they told us, like, you are like the candy. The candy has to be covered. If the candy are not covered, the flies will come on it and all that brainwashing.
Okay, and that starts at what age?
Very young, at the age of 9.
Okay.
Very, very young, even younger than that.
Right.
You can see, like, many families, Muslim people, they even cover their the head of the little babies, like as young as like 5 years or 6 years.
Yeah. So do you know when it changed from just during sandstorms to being all the time for women?
The face cover, it just come along with the I would say the tradition or the lifestyle of the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know exactly when.
Okay.
Like we don't know like exactly which century, which year, who start,
Right.
like
So
who start, yeah.
yeah, at some point.
But I know the story of the hijab itself.
Yeah, tell us that. That sounds interesting.
So that's, yeah, many women, they don't even know why they are wearing the hijab. At the time of Muhammad, even before that, people like used to do like you see like a paganism, like paganism. Even they go around the Kaaba, around even the Hajj, the pilgriming, all that's like idol worshipping and all that stuff, right?
This was in the early days in Mecca, right? That you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, like the hijab, the covering the body and all that stuff, it was not like part of the tradition or part of the culture.
Okay.
Because they used to do like a pagan, the people like pagans, and no, like they're not civilized to wear like like proper clothes.
Okay.
So at the time of Muhammad, when he was like, this is a years after he started the jihad and the killing, and they took many sick slaves.
That was later when he was in Medina, right?
Yes, this is the later when he was in Medina, right?
Okay.
So when he was in Medina, so there was a many like Muslim women or not Muslim women, they almost wear the same. They're not fully properly like covered, right?
Okay.
So there was lots of sick slave here and there, and men, like because Muhammad, he got connected with the thugs and the bandits, and he's the one who helped him to start the Islamic State and all that. So the second caliph, one of his followers, his name is Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph. At that time, Umar, he used to hang like a nighttime, with the guys.
Now you just cut out for a minute, Sandra. You were just saying the second caliph, and then I didn't hear what you said after that.
His name is Umar.
Okay.
Umar.
Right.
Okay. This
Umar.
Second caliph, his name is Umar. Umar ibn al-Khattab. At that time, when the time of Muhammad and they already established the state, and they have a women, and they used to go like at night time, and the sick slave, they can just take any woman and rape her. Okay, so
you
one
mean
time,
women that are not Muslim, right?
Yes, and well, these guys, they used to like at night time, a desert. Remember, like no electricity, no lights, no nothing. They used to go like a hangout right there, and if they see like a woman, they can just grab her and rape her and have sex with her.
I see. Okay.
So at that time, when Umar, he saw one of Muhammad's wife, her name is Sauda. Her name Sauda. Okay? So Umar, he saw Sauda. He said to her, "Arafnaki ya Sauda." Oh, we recognize you, Sauda. We recognize you. Like, even though it was dark and something, he recognized her. So the next day, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he went to Muhammad and he said to him, cover your wife unless they're gonna be known and they're gonna be harmed. If they're not gonna be like, to distinguish them from the sick slave or the whatever, any other women, right?
Right.
So supposedly Muhammad, he claimed that he received a revelation all of a sudden, and he said supposedly Allah spoke to Muhammad, give him revelation, and he said to him, يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك. Sometimes I have to read the Quran in Arabic a little bit.
Okay.
O Prophet, tell your wife and your daughter and the wife of the believer to cover themselves it's better for them not to be known and not to be harmed. So they're going to be harmed. So therefore, the order of the hijab actually came from Omar, because they wanted to distinguish between the Muslim women and the Sikh slaves. So from that day, the practice starts spreading, and then, for example, like one day to prove that, that it's only to distinguish between the Sikh slaves. So because of that, like one day, one of the Sikh slaves, she came to Omar. She was serving, and she was wearing the headscarf. And he said to her, "Did someone set you free or buy you?" Because they used to sell them and buy them, right?
Right.
She said no. And so he hit her on the head, and he took the hijab off, and he told her, never wear this again, because she's not a free woman.
I see. Okay, so the sex slaves are not supposed to. The sex slaves are not supposed to wear the hijab. Is that right?
No.
Okay.
So therefore, that's why what we see going on in Europe, yes, or in North America, when Muslim men raping, or what's going on now in the Middle East with the Yazidis and the Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They consider any infidel women are Sikh slave to them. Automatically, they are the Sikh slave.
Okay, because if they weren't sex slaves, they would be wearing a hijab.
Thank you. They would be Muslim and wearing the hijab.
Okay, I got it. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so how did this, you said you were studying psychology and you really liked it and it started making you question everything. So how did psychology fit into making you rebel against these things?
The analyzation, of the character of the God of Islam. I analyze, I'm reading, because majority of Muslims, they read the Quran, but they don't understand it. They just memorize it.
Yeah.
They don't know what it means. Like, they don't fully get it. They just read and read and read and read, but they're not really realizing what they're reading.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a really important point, because a lot of non-Muslims in the West figure that all the Muslims understand their scriptures completely. And you're saying
no,
that's not true.
That's not true. First of all, a big percentage of Muslims, they're not Arab. They're either virgin or speak Urdu or Hindi or any other languages.
Okay.
Or like from Indonesia or other countries like Pakistan, in India, in China, in Iran, in North Africa, like the Moroccan, the Libyan, the Algerian, all these countries, they're not Arab. They don't speak Arabic. Like, this is not their language.
You're saying that the scriptures do not come in all those languages.
The translation, but the Quran, they have to read it in Arabic.
I see. Okay.
And the translation, it's not right.
Okay. So a lot of them maybe just hear whatever they hear in the mosque. And
not only that, yes, they are under control of the imams. Imams controlling majority of Muslims. Like, Muslims don't think for themselves. Whatever the imam tells them, they follow.
Okay, why do you think there's so much just complete following of what the imams say rather than questioning it? Why does that happen?
Because as we grow up with it in the Quran, do not question. لا تسألوا عن أشياء. Do not question. You're not supposed to question Islam. This is what they cast fear in our hearts since we are young. If you are questioning Islam, that means this is a work of Satan. He is casting a doubt in your heart. He wants you to leave the religion of Tawheed, the oneness of God, and we are the only one on earth. We worship the one and only true God, and the rest of the people are pagans or are satanic or are evil. They just want to kill us. They hate us. And all these, it's all, again, back to the psychology. I start analyze the character of the God of Islam until I find out that the Quran is a man-made book and not just a regular man or normal man, a psychopath. Muhammad, he was just a psycho, extremely. Psychopath.
Now, before he met the angel that told him to become the prophet, then it seems to me when he was running being a caravan manager, it sounds like he was a pretty good, responsible, regular man, right? I personally, I don't believe that there was any angel or any. It's all made up story. He's a liar. Okay, so you think that he made it up for some other reason?
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
I don't believe that there is anyone spoke to him. It all comes from his head.
And of course, it's
because the Quran, it's a collection.
Okay, right. Well, I know that Dr. Warner was telling us that in order to make the final version of the Quran, after which they burned all the source material, they had a lot of pieces that were put together by one of the caliphs, right?
Yes, Uthman.
Uthman, right. And he ordered the final version to be made. And it's...
to be collected and submitted.
And how much after Muhammad's death was that?
I can't remember exactly how many years, but there was Abu Bakr and then Umar and then Uthman.
Right.
So I don't know, like.
All right.
Maybe
I should remember that too. I know Dr. Warner told us, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
So you were looking at this from a psychological perspective and analyzing what the scriptures were actually telling you to do, right?
Exactly. And don't forget as well, we need to associate the Quran with the life of Muhammad, because there's two Quran. Muslims, they have two Quran actually, the Mackian Quran and the Medina Quran.
Are those not sections of the same book, or are they totally separate?
They're not sections, but it says whereas it's a Mackian and what it's the Medinan.
Okay. So are you?
And not all the Quranic books they write it.
Are you taught the difference between those two as a kid?
A little bit, but when we associated with the life of Muhammad, because not just the Quran, it's also the Hadith. So we have to put all together. So when we study the life of Muhammad, what he did in Mecca, when did he started, and how many years, and then before he went to Medina, and then when he went to Medina, and then what happened. So everything has to do, it's all Muhammad.
Okay.
So basically the Islamic, the Mackian Quran, it should be like deleted. Because that's it. It's been abrogated. We don't need it. It doesn't apply for today's time.
Well, but abrogated, if I understood what we learned, that when there's an abrogation happening, that means the earlier one is replaced by the later one. Is that correct? Okay, so the Medina Quran, so, if that's a part of the Quran or if it's separate, that pretty much abrogates the Meccan Quran because it's later. Is that right?
Yes. So everything Muhammad said in Mecca, Muslims should not take it. Should not.
Right, because it's contradicted later by the Medina.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so the whole strategy of how to spread Islam changes in Medina, right? And the later period that abrogates the earlier one.
It actually started to slightly change since he was in Mecca. Because before he went to Medina, when he started his da'wah, claiming that he's a prophet and he's bringing religion and all that stuff, for 13 years, a very, very, very few number of people followed him. Anyway.
Right.
So before he went to Medina, he got connected with the group called Al-Sa'alik, or Al-Khawarij in Arabic. The group of Sa'alik means bandits and thugs. He got connected with them before he went to Medina, and this bandits and thugs, they used to live, they are being cast out from their tribes, because the region, it was a tribal, right? So these bandits and these thugs, they are like the criminal of that time. Either killers, rapists, pedophiles, all these bad people. mental disabled, not normal, like criminals. So these people, these guys, they got together and they used to live in the mountain, like farther from the tribes away, and they used to attack the caravans and kill the men and take women as a sex slaves and take the kids and rape them and train them to be like them and take the spoils, like whatever they have.
When are we talking about? When was this going on? Before Mohammed?
This is right before he went to Medina. This is just before he went to Medina.
Okay, but I mean, did these gangs exist for a long time before that?
Yes.
All right, so they didn't just start at that time. They had been going on.
No. They were there. They were there, and they used to live farther from the, let's say, the Quraysh tribe. They used to take control of Mecca, right?
Okay.
So many of these thugs and gang. Also, they used to be also famous with many of them. They used to do like a poetry, poem.
I didn't.
That's why the Quran. That's why as well. Also, many verses from the Quran. If someone who understands the Arabic, it's like a poetry, poem, like rhyming,
okay,
rhyme.
Gotcha. Right, I understand.
Yes. So. Anyway, Muhammad, he went to them after he got frustrated because many of them calling him crazy. Mm-hmm. You are telling us a story, we already heard it. You're not bringing anything new. Whatever you're saying to us, we already know it. Like, he was not convincing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and no one wanted to associate with him. So he got, and then many people as well. There's many people start also not believing in him even more when they saw him associating with these guys, with the gang. They say, why Muhammad, he would go with these people? Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. They're not welcomed. They are like a mafia, like a gang. You know what I mean? You're like like let's say if you go to I would say like a ghetto area and it's all full of gang and all like, you know what I mean? Are you going to be able to talk to these people? Are you going to feel safe?
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Of course not.
Right.
So that's the whole. They have their own, you know what I mean? They live up at the mountain. You see now Taliban in Afghanistan, right? Or in Pakistan. You see that Taliban, Al-Qaeda, even ISIS, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, all these terrorist groups. What's the main thing common between most of them? They live away, right? They live in the mountain. Mm-hmm. They live far, right? They don't live in the cities.
Right.
Like, I would say they're gathering, right? They're gathering. Mm-hmm. They feel more safe when they go to the caves.
Right.
They go to the caves. And to plan things and whatever. So because in the cities they're gonna be exposed. They cannot walk. They cannot do much in the cities.
Yeah.
And until they take over the city. Like for example, now the ISIS, they took over some cities. After they took over, that's a different story. But before that, they gather away at the desert, at the mountain, away from the eyes of the people. No one like hiding, like Hamas. All these people, they do tunnels.
Toward the end of Muhammad's time in Mecca, he got connected to people like this.
Yes, and he came to them, he said to them, help me in my da'wah, like, to help him in his claim. And he said to them, while you are living in the mountain, I will give you more land. I will give you more sex slaves. And I will give you more spoil. You're going to be rich. Mm-hmm. So they agree. They said, okay, whatever. We'll like they don't care. Like if you go to any gang group and you tell them, I'll give you more money and more women and more guns. Of course they're gonna say to you, okay, we'll help you out. Bring us what we want. Right. That's the whole concept. Anyway, these people helped him. They moved with him to Medina. They start following him and telling people he become, I would say, Muhammad become the leader of these terrorists. That's why I always call him Muhammad, the leader of all terrorists.
Now, one quick question without losing the train of thought, because this is really interesting. I don't think this version of history would be taught openly in most of the schools where you were. So how and when did you learn about this?
And the many other books, like the history of Arab.
Okay.
There is a books, many books. One of them called Al-Mufassal. Mufassal mean I would say the right translation for this word will be explanatory. Of the history of Arab.
Are there books like that in English also, or mostly just in Arabic?
Unfortunate, no. But there is so many books like this in Middle East. But also, it's not how can I say that? It's not known for so many people.
Right. It's not mainstream history taught in schools.
Yes. People, you need to dig more and more and read the history of Arab.
Okay.
Not the history of Islam, the history of Arab. The Arab people who used to live there before the time of Muhammad even.
Yeah.
Because these people were there before Muhammad started his claim.
Okay, so it'd be really interesting to investigate and see if there's any real history books that are good in English of Arabia.
Yes, I can. I wish, my English is good, but it's not as good as to be for these deep translation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I wish, and I am calling to anybody there, who has who's perfect in English and perfect in Arabic, and they are good in writing. My writing is not that good as well. I would love to translate, and I'm actually these things I've always asked people about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea because you've already located the books. So what you need is a translation, huh?
I know the books. All what I need is someone to be perfect in Arabic and also perfect in English when it comes reading and writing.
Okay.
To be able to translate these books and make it with the sources and bring the legit.
Yeah. So
evidence. Because these books are legit.
If anybody is interested in that and wants to help out, they can email me, richard@lostartsradio.com, and maybe we'll put something together, because I think learning real history is a very good thing for everybody to do. And learning languages.
Exactly. Let's say you are reading the history of Roman, for example. When you read the history of Roman, you will discover so many other things besides that.
Yeah. I know. I look back at the time when I was a kid in school, and I realized I could have used the time so much better. And so one of the things I'm trying to do now is just absorb every bit of history and knowledge and everything that I can. But there's only 24 hours in a day. It's a challenge to get as much as you want.
Right. And it's a very... I would not say complicated, but it's very deep and very, you need to look back in the years. You're talking about hundreds of years, right?
Yeah. And if you really want the context, then you have to go back and study their earlier history too.
Right. So
Okay,
basically, this thing, I'm not making it up. I can prove it. Like if someone who do not know, we have all the evidence to show them. And also, if some people who really understand the Arabic language of the Quran, they will be surprised that there many poem and poetry of these people, it's been used in the Quran.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
In the Arab in general, even before Muhammad, okay? Each and every culture in the world, it's been known by something.
Right.
So the Arabic people, the Arabic culture, they are being known by the poems.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
Shakespeare, like, poetry, poems. They used to say poems like, I love the Arabic poems. I love it.
Okay. Okay.
It's so rich.
Right.
It has lots of nice, beautiful, deep meanings in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like unbelievable. Like I used to be in love with this kind of poems. Because we study Arabic language as well.
Yes. Yes.
I used to love memorizing the Arabic poem more than the Quran.
And you're talking about when you were what, in high school or something?
And
like
in
that?
school, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
So,
it sounds beautiful. I would love to learn how to speak and read.
Exactly. This is very, like, I'm so happy and thrilled, like that the fact that I know the language, that I know the Arabic language.
Yeah, yeah. What I've seen is just learning a language, you absorb a lot of what the culture is like.
Right, because at the end of the day, the language is the reflection of that culture, right?
Right, exactly.
So Muhammad, he got connected with these people, and these people, like a criminal, they will kill with no mercy. They will even, they enjoy casting terror in people's hearts. They enjoy murdering, not just murdering, like a brutal murder. They will like cut the hands and cut the legs and let the people suffer until death. They're watching them dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They will crucify people. They will like rape until the girl will die between their hands.
Right.
They don't care. They have no mercy. They have no fear in their hearts, right? Yeah. They will kill for money. They don't care. Basically, criminal, not just criminal, like no heart. Forget it.
Yeah. It's really hard for normal people to completely grasp what that's like. But and I think that's one of the ways they stay hidden is that people can't imagine it.
And these people will be beheaded. Just beheaded. People would like, they don't care. They will hang the head like this in front of the kids. Nothing. They don't care.
Right.
So Muhammad got connected with these people, and he said to them, help me, and I will give you more land, I will give you more money, and I will give you more women. Mm-hmm. Of course, they said yes. So that's why when he went to the Medina, okay, he starts his political game. And there was many tribes in Medina. The Medina was like, how can I say that? As all the time, history of a mankind, it did not really change very much big. You know, when they, it's a tribal region again, right? So this tribe with another tribe. Till today, the Middle East, it's actually tribal. Mm-hmm. Like our tribe and their tribe. Oh, our tribe better than their tribe. Competition between tribes. Yeah. A little bit of fight between tribes here and there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And fighting over land, over water, over anything. Right, exactly. Right? So Muhammad used the political game, and there was a mini tribe, Qabilat, like the tribe of Al-Aus, the tribe of Al-Khazraj, the tribe, many tribes. There was 4 Jewish tribes, the tribe of Banu Qurayda, the tribe of Banu An-Nadir, the tribe of Banu Qahinuqa, the tribe of Banu Khaybar. Like so many tribes, so many things. So he starts, using, how can I say, if this tribe do not like that tribe, or this tribe, someone did something, ashamed them, and he did something wrong to the other tribe, and he ashamed them. It's basically also based on shaming culture. Mm-hmm. So these criminals, majority of them, they were being cast out from the tribe because of the shaming act they did. They ashamed them, so they kicked them out, and they're no longer welcome to the tribe.
Okay.
They've been disconnected and they ashamed them.
Right.
So that's why they got connected together. Anyway, and the number grows. So Muhammad starts using them for war, for killing, for this and that. And then that's why he ended up growing his number of the army until he built the first army of around like 300 people. And that's it. He started he established so many things, you know what I mean? He put the first mosque, whatever, the Adhan.
All of these gangs converted to Islam, I'm assuming.
Exactly.
Okay.
Of course, they became Muslim.
Okay.
And they start calling themselves we are Muslims. And because Islam brought them what they want.
Yes.
The ideology itself, the Islamic ideology.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Muhammad built this army, and then supposedly that there is a revelation, he starts, even before he went to Medina, he started calling people kafir, but it was not as harsh as when he went to Medina. So he started calling and telling them, anyone who do not submit to me, to Allah, okay, who do not believe that I am a prophet of Allah, they are subjugated to be killed, and they are infidel, they are kafir, and we have to wage war, jihad, against the infidels and kill them and wipe them off.
So before you go any further, what do you think that kafir really means? How does somebody understand that word?
That the very basic or simple translation for that word is infidel.
But that just means somebody who doesn't believe what you're teaching, right?
Exactly. Basically, you are kafir, the word kafir from he leaved it. He leave the thing. So it's originated from Arabic language.
Okay, what did you say before that? I couldn't quite hear you. You said kafir.
Like the word kafir. He left anything, anything and everything. He would have leave it. So the word kafir, it applied also to Muhammad. He applied to him. The one who do not want to submit to Allah and Muhammad, they consider it kafir because they leave them. They don't want to be with them.
Okay, I see. Okay. So somebody who's leaving the true belief system, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then you got up to where they had about 300 people in Medina. And so what happened after that?
And they went back to Mecca and start the first battle. They call it Ghazwa. Ghazwa in Arabic. And that's, how can I say that? Muhammad, he put the conspiracy theory in people's minds. We are the Muslims, we are the innocent, and these infidels are the enemies, and they are conspiring against us to kill us. They hate us.
So if all the
therefore
Kafirs
we
are
have to kill them.
Then the war against the Kafirs is actually a defensive war because the Kafirs are all trying to kill you.
Exactly. They put in my head, since I was young, they told me the infidels, the Christian, the Jews, anyone who's not Muslim, these are our enemy. Don't associate with them. Don't talk to them. They are filthy. We have to do jihad. We have to dominate them. We have to kill them. We have to take their land and their spoils and their women and their whatever.
Okay.
This is what they teach me. The main oath in Islam and the Muslim in the schools in Saudi Arabia, this is it. It should be repeated all the time. That we have to repeat it in school. We have to repeat always. Islam, it's our religion. Quran, it's our constitution. Muhammad, it's our prophet. Jihad, it's our way. And dying for Allah, it's our ultimate dream.
Okay.
We have to repeat it almost every day in school since we are young.
Wow, interesting.
Yes. I find myself in a culture, in hateful violence. I couldn't stand it. Like, to me, it was something, I feel like, again, back to the psychology, when I start analyze the character of this so-called God or Allah, like the God of whatever Islam, and someone bringing his book, I'm reading this book, and I'm not finding anything like good in this book.
Right.
It's like everything, it's ordering us to do terrorism. It's ordering us to hate. It's ordering us not to forgive. It's ordering us to curse. We are like, we used to go to Mecca many times. And especially like in Ramadan and all that. As we're young, we always hear the imams, when they say the salah, the prayer, and then they finish it with the dua, they are cursing. Oh, Allah, curse the infidels. Oh, Allah, slay them one by one. Oh, Allah, make their women widows and make their kids orphans. Oh, Allah, destroy Israel, destroy America, destroy everyone helping the Crusaders. The Crusaders. We need to kill the Crusaders. We need to kill the Jews.
Right.
Yes. Oh, Allah, help the jihadists. Help us to be firm in the time of jihad.
Just so that we understand the position of the imam, how do you become an imam? What's involved in that? Who are these people?
Well, these people who does not have no life, and it's just about position and money.
I mean, do you have to study or know something to become an imam?
Yeah, of course. But these majority of them, they're not even, I would not say like very, very, very highly educated when it comes to Islamic Sharia law. Sometimes, in most cases, they just memorize the Quran.
Okay.
But yes, a percentage, of course. Now, like they do university to study Sharia law, right? Yes, some of them, they go university, they memorize, they have to memorize the Quran cover to cover. And they some of them, they have the knowledge of the commentary books and the hadith and all that stuff.
Okay.
And don't forget the difference between the Sunni and the Shia. It's totally different story, and it's a very long subject.
Yeah. You're saying there's contradictory parts where the hadith doesn't go with the sirah?
When it comes to the hadith, it's also made like many. We have to be careful with that, because many Muslims, they would say, "Oh, this is a weak. This is authentic. This is not authentic." You have to look at something called as-sanad. Al-matan means who said it. Are these people are trustworthy? Are they from the tabi'een? Like, are they at the first era of the time of Muhammad? Which era? Oh my God, it's a very, very, very complicated one. And the Westerns, it required lots and lots and lots of study. Okay.
So by the time somebody gets the position of being an imam, is this connected to the national government of different countries, or what actually supports that? Are they independent?
Some of them, yes, and some of them are like a member of a biggest organization.
Okay, an organization that's based in any particular country?
Yeah, like Islamic organization. For example, like many organizations. like, and some of them are terrorist organizations, like Muslim Brotherhood.
Right. Right.
They planted imams everywhere. Muslim Brotherhood.
Right.
ISIS, they planted imams everywhere.
Okay.
Al-Qaeda, Taliban, they planted imam everywhere. They actually planted imam all over Europe, Canada, and U.S.
Okay. Well, my understanding from listening to Dr. Warner is that a group like ISIS is actually following all three scriptures very closely. Is that true?
Yeah. Not just very closely. It's just like 100%.
Exactly. Okay.
Like 100%. Actually, ISIS are from among every other terrorist organization. They all follow Muhammad, okay, and the Quran.
Right.
But ISIS is the most, like, accurate one.
Okay. That was exactly my impression.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're not radical Muslims. They're just very accurate, good followers of...
They are very true Muslims.
Okay. All right. Okay, so when Mohammed got connected to these other groups that were willing to do the violent parts, that was really a brilliant strategy if he wanted to expand, right? Because everybody ended up becoming a Muslim. At least that's what it seems.
Of course, not just it's not something really new through the history. Everyone and anyone who can start a gang group can start attack and start take over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in everywhere.
Yeah.
Gangs is gangs. No matter whatever you want to call it.
That's true. I mean, they're in every country.
Yeah, it's like all over the world.
Right.
How many like mafiosa, right?
Yeah.
Like how many gang group it's been throughout the history, or how many ideology, like fascism, like the communist.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost.
And now we have the globalists.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
all these ideology, Nazism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're amazingly similar. They just have some differences in explanations. Exactly.
The Islamists, I would say, ideology. Mm-hmm. The Mohammedan ideology. It's the ideology that came, it's nothing really, he did not really did something, I would say, ordinary. It's just because he started with the sword. He started with the sword. And happened to be at the time of Muhammad, okay? Not many people, like, the number was small. Don't forget, the population of that area at that time, it was not big.
Right.
Number one. Number two, many people, peaceful people, used to live in that region, and that's like, or Mecca and Medina. Like, they're not like all the time carrying the swords and day and night fighting with each other.
Right.
And the Qawm, like the tribe of Quraysh, they were trying to keep the peace with everyone. There was because it was a trade center. It was a multicultural.
You're talking about Medina?
Mecca.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, Mecca and Medina, but mainly Mecca. It was the trade center.
Okay.
It was the trade of the caravan coming from the north to the south, and from the south to the north. People will take a break. This is the, when you travel. Yeah, this is the, this is the gas station. They need a break.
And there were people from several hundred religions were there getting along more or less, right?
Exactly. Pagans, Jews, Christians, and it doesn't matter which kind, many false prophets. Actually, the word Muslim came from a false prophet. His name is Musaylima.
I haven't heard of him.
Okay, this guy, he had a book called Quran. That's why the word Quran came from that man too.
Okay.
This man called Musaylima. Okay, so that's why the word Muslim come from that man, Musaylima.
Okay. And was he a contemporary of Muhammad?
He was like a false prophet too, claiming that he's a prophet, and he would recite a poetry. Remember, I told you it's a poetry.
Yeah, poetry.
And it's a magical one.
He lived at the same time as Muhammad.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And he had many followers, and he had a book, his Quran. That's why he took the word Quran.
Okay, wow, that's amazing.
These kind of stuff, you will find it if someone because I read it, I dig closer and closer to the history of Arab. Forget Muhammad. I put Muhammad on a side. Let's study the history of that region, of that area.
Okay. Yeah, we really need some translations of the books that you read. I think that would be a wonderful.
Oh, geez. Yes, it will be amazing. It's going to be so hard for me. I would love if someone can do that. But if someone speaks Arabic, I can prove my point to them. I can bring them the whatever evidence, and they can read it for themselves. And I don't talk without evidence. Like, this is a legit evidence, authentic evidence.
Yeah, but from a psychological point of view, it's really interesting that most of the people who were memorizing what they had to think from a very young age would never question these things. And
because Islam is based on fear.
Okay.
Controlling people by fear. If you question this, oh my God, you're going to be a polytheist, mushrik, shirk. If you do this, if you do that, you're going to be punished. If you don't pray, Allah will put you on the fire. If you don't do this, you will have that punishment. If you die and you're not praying, you're going to have punishment in the grave. Based on fear. And it says in the Quran, I will cast a terror in the heart of unbelievers. You know what I mean? That's Muhammad himself, he said, I've been ordered to fight people until they confess that there is no God.
Okay, so
if they do that, they will protect their themselves, their blood and whatever from me.
Okay, so let's go back to, when you were in school in Saudi Arabia and you were starting to study all these things, and I assume you were beginning at some point to read history books and study the history of that region. How did that evolve into wanting to do something different?
Well, I did even I was persecuted more in the school because of all my rappelling and questioning. And also when I did the assignment to the psychology teacher, and I told her, I proved to her that the God of Islam, he has a lot of psychological issues. And that's not normal.
Whoever popular.
Yes, who wrote the Quran, I told her, whoever wrote the Quran, he's a psychopath. He's not normal. If anyone will follow this book, he will end up crazy. He will end up terrorist.
So I would imagine that the teachers had some real problems with what to do with you.
Big time. I was kicked out from school many times.
Yeah.
I fight with the schools, with the teachers. I fight at home. Even my family, they did not know what to do with me.
Right.
And not just the Islam itself. I was rebelling as a free human being, critical. I have the right to criticize. I was searching and seeking my full freedom of criticizing.
Yes. Okay, so
under Sharia law, there's no freedom. Forget it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sign of lack of faith, I guess. And
exactly, everything they want to quilling. They want to anyone who dare to question, dare to rebel, they're gonna be either in jail or they're gonna be executed. And the executioner square, which is I witnessed the beheading myself.
Yeah.
When I was between 10 and 11 in Saudi Arabia, they let the kids watch the beheading.
Well, they probably do that so that you won't dare do anything illegal, right?
Exactly. Again, remember when I told you about these thugs? They will do everything in front of the kids. They will behead. They will cut off the hands. They will Sharia law, it's a thugs bandit law.
Okay,
it's to give room for the bandits and the thugs to take over. That's all. Right. That's Sharia law.
Well, right, but I mean, they're really sophisticated because, if you study psychology, you know that this scene of seeing somebody tortured and killed sinks into the subconscious, and then it controls you for the rest of your life unless you break free of it.
That's true. Islam dehumanized.
Right. Go ahead, Sandra. Are you there?
Yes, that's why in Canada now we are facing this problem of bringing Islam to public schools. They want to bring Friday prayer.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's very clear. If you understand what's happening, it's clear that most of the leaders of Western countries are doing this to create chaos.
Well, Islamists and globalists get together.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's what I mean.
Guess what's going to happen later?
Yeah. Well, they hope that people will be so fearful again. That's why they're allied with this kind of Islam, because fear is very useful for all the gangs, and the biggest gang is the globalists that I've seen anyway.
Exactly. I always say that, like, what's the difference between Trudeau and Mohammed? Nothing.
Yeah, well, it's just differences in style of different gangs, I guess.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, nothing. Muhammad wanted to control. It's all about me. It's all about Muhammad. It's all about slaving people, taking advantage of people, making people worshipping him, and like subconsciously, Muslims worship Muhammad. Subconsciously, even if they don't admit it, but it's all about Muhammad.
Right.
Everything, take it back to Muhammad. You will find the only and only root for every problem, it's Muhammad.
Yes, exactly.
Of course, the Quran, but the Quran, what's the Quran? It came from Muhammad.
Yes. Well, it's great if you have a perfect person who's an example of everything, you don't have to question. So I understand that. But what happened to you and your family in school after the point that you got to there?
Nothing. I struggled for so many years. I was living in a hell, in jail. I felt like many years, for so many years, until and then I went to Jordan, and then I was locked up for a couple of years after I finished the high school. I was house arrest. My brother attempted to murder me many times just because I was rebelling. I don't want to wear the hijab. I want to continue my education until they forced me into the marriage. I was married as well, like in Saudi Arabia. And it was forced. I won't call it marriage. I will call it rape. Yeah. It was not good. It was awful. It was evil. It was horrible. It was oppression. It was torture. It was, Yeah. I wasn't alive.
I think they figured if they could get you into a marriage like that, maybe it would keep you quiet and under control.
Exactly. They would keep me quiet. I had a child, and then I fight for my divorce, and then lucky I am, I got my ex was the sponsor for me to come to Canada. He was applying as to be immigration.
Say that again, Sandra. I didn't quite.
My ex.
Okay.
He got the application. He applied for immigrant to Canada. That's why I get to come.
Are you saying that you were successful in getting a divorce?
I was not.
You were not.
Like it took me a year. It was not easy.
But I mean, did you end up getting a divorce or not?
Oh yes. I ended up getting the divorce. I demanded it, and then back and forward. Between Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Anyway, I managed to escape Saudi Arabia and go to Jordan until when I had my Canadian documents, right? Okay. But he was holding it away from me because under Sharia law, every woman must have a guardian, a husband, a father, a brother, a son even. Yes. He is responsible for this woman. Everything. We don't have even control over our own personal documents like passport and all that stuff.
Right. So
anyway, but I managed to get everything, and I came to Canada. I escaped, and I came to Canada with my son, and I started my life here.
Good. I'm glad you have your son with you. That's wonderful.
Yes. And it was not easy. But I made it.
No, I think not easy is a little bit of an understatement. So how old is your son now?
He's 14.
Okay, good. And how's he doing?
He's doing great. He also understands the situation. He left Islam.
Okay.
He cannot be in touch with his dad anymore. And he understands that. He understands the danger of Islam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, really fortunate that he has you for a mother.
Yes, I'm also fortunate to have him as a son. He's a very good guy.
Yeah, he sounds like a great guy. He'll do some great things in the world, I think.
Yes, he is.
He is, actually. Wow. So, since you're so interested in psychology, you know how if you talk about somebody getting a disease, they talk about how it's contagious, right? And how one person can give a disease to another person. But what I'm interested in seeing is, two things. One is individuals' lives who are willing to do what they have to for their lives to get better. But the other part that I want is for the whole world not to be destroyed like the globalists and people like that want to happen, and they're trying. And one of the things that I think would be really helpful is figure out how the disease that you got, which is the determination to get freedom for yourself and your son, how that could become contagious. I want to
share the voice, educate people, and raise awareness, and not to be afraid.
Well, right. I mean, that's that one thing in itself. You managed to get free of fear, or at least not to obey it. If I would, you tell me if I'm right, because I'm not in the middle of Islam, but I'm just an outside observer. I think most of the prisoners that are living under complete fear have no idea how to get beyond fear. Is there anything that you would suggest for them that would help? I mean, how did you do it?
First of all, it's also a matter of dignity.
Okay.
Dignity. I felt like humiliated as a human being.
Right.
I'm not gonna let any other human being humiliate me. We're all supposed to be equal.
Yes.
Men and women equal.
Yeah, obviously that's true. Right.
And no man can control my life. Like each and every individual have to have that full control of their life.
Yes.
And have a dignity for themselves, not to be to stand up for themselves. They are valued to themselves.
I totally agree, and this would apply to the men as well, because they might be trapped in a system feeling like they have no choice but to be, violent and oppressive to themselves and to women and everybody else. So
exactly, apply to me.
They have tremendous peer pressure on the men as well, right?
Yes. It doesn't matter. Even many guys back home, if they want to break through from Islam, they're also tortured. It has nothing to do, man or woman.
That's what I'm saying.
You see the guy, his name is Raif Badawi. I don't know if you heard about his case.
What's his name again?
Raif Badawi.
No,
Raif
I have not heard of that. I don't know that.
He's a Saudi guy. His wife and his kids in Canada. He got they persecuting him in Saudi Arabia just because he put the liberal Saudi a website asking the government to sell separation, to make the country liberated from the religious to separate from the state and religion. Separation? So it's just an idea. He did not say anything. This is just an idea. Now he's in jail. He's been flogged publicly, all over mainstream media, they got him.
Yeah. So he's a pretty smart guy. He knew that he was risking his life by putting that site up, right?
Yes, but now he's still in jail, and he might be in jail for more than 10 years, and he's going to be flogged for the rest of his life.
Wow. So, I mean, I just want us to think of, and with the help of the people within Islam, I want to think of how we can help get things back to normal.
Expose Islam for what it is. Number one.
Yeah.
With no fear. And say the truth the way it is. Speak the truth the way it is. Islam, it's not religion. It's a political ideology to dominate, to take control. It's a fashionist. It's all these. It's cult. It's a death cult. It's a sex cult. It has nothing good in it. Nothing good. Nothing. It's oppression. It's controlling.
It seems to me, I understand, Dr. Warner, and what you just said, that it's not a religion, but I think I'm just looking at it a little bit differently. I think the reason it has so much power is that it is a religion, and if you didn't have the promise to go to paradise by, carrying out jihad, they wouldn't have as much help in doing that.
I would say yes, but again, this religion part of it, it's just a cover. It's a delusional.
Well, it might be delusional, but that's the part that gives the power, right? Because when kids memorize this stuff from birth, and that you don't analyze it, you just memorize it, then, like you say, fear is at the base of the power of it, I think.
Yes, Islam spread by fear. Like, cast fear, cast terror in people's hearts.
Yeah.
And many people easy to fall in a trap into that fear. Many people.
Yes. Yeah. So something occurred to you that doesn't occur to everybody, that, wait a minute, this is taking away my dignity, and no matter what happens, I cannot continue with it.
Of course, I'm a free woman. I'm a free human being. I have the right to choose what I wear, what I not wear. I have the right to choose where to go, where not to go. I have the right to choose, because they keep telling us the woman, she does not have full brain. The woman, she cannot decide. The woman, it's better for her to be home. The woman must have a guardian. The man, Allah prefer men, not women. And woman, if you uncover your hair, Allah will hang you from your hair. If you're not, whatever, all these things, like if you're gonna be raped, it's your fault. If you you talk to guys, it's like you're committing a big sin. If you commit adultery, you're gonna be stoned to death, or all these fear. If you do this, we'll do that. If you do this, we'll do that. Like I reached to the point, too much pressure, lots of pressure, a lot of pressure. One time, my brother, he almost, like, I was just talking to a guy. He almost killed the guy. Like, he actually literally, like, put the knife in his stomach. He almost killed him.
This was in Saudi Arabia?
And then he wanted to murder me. My brother, he wanted to murder me.
Right. Because he had learned and memorized that this is what you do for Allah.
Exactly. Right. And this, you bring honor. The honor killing, it's like almost, it's everyday story for girls being murdered. Honor killing. Honor. This is something else. They control the girls with it, the women. The word honor. The word honor. Oh, you ashamed us. So the culture, the whole thing based off of shame and fear.
Okay, so if honor killings go on all the time in Islamic countries, what are they usually? What's usually involved? What is the crime that is common for that?
It could be just a thought.
Okay.
It could be a changing of religion.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a girl, we're talking to a guy, whatever. It could be a girl like refusing to wear the hijab, like what happened to me. My brother attempted to murder me many times just because I refused to wear the hijab. Right. And if he would have killed me, it would be honor killing.
Okay.
It could be a thought, like if I, like whatever, like what happened to me, I was rebelling. I'm questioning Quran. It could, like if I say to them, oh, I don't believe in Quran, I don't believe in Muhammad, I would be killed. Blasphemy law. Yes. That's in Sharia law. If you blaspheme against Muhammad, oh my God. Oh my God. They go crazy.
So the Muslim communities in America and Canada and places like that where the women wear normal clothes are and most of them that I've met, and I've met many of those people who are mostly great people, they consider themselves still to be Muslim, but the women look like, they're dressed like Western women. What happens with that?
According to Sharia law, these are hypocrites. They should be killed.
Okay.
The only, these group like Hamas, ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, all these so-called terrorist groups, these are the true Muslims.
Okay, that looks reasonable to me too. And one thing that people are observing is that if you look at the historical development in Islamic countries like Pakistan, I guess used to be Hindu, right? And Turkey, I think Turkey was Christian before. And
Hagia Sophia.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a church.
Constantinople was there.
Yeah.
Before it became Istanbul, and so as the percentage of people converting to Islam in a country like those goes up, then the behavior toward the non-Muslims changes, right, as a pattern.
That's what they teach us. When you are minority, you can use the taqiyya, the deceiving, the lie. It's halal. It's permissible in Islam to lie to the infidel until you got what you want. And that's exactly what's going on now in the Western world. Many people are deceived by taqiyya. And because many Muslims also, they come in a very, in a suits and wearing nice clothes, and they do organization. Majority of this Muslims organization around all over the Western, it's actually has a tie to terrorist group. It's just they look like civilized, but they're not civilized. They're using taqiyya.
So besides just the occasional person who's courageous like you getting free of this kind of thing, I'm just looking for any way that we could avoid what looks like the outcome of all this. Because if that happens in country after country, I would like to figure out some way where that pattern could be stopped without all the violence and the damage that will happen from that.
Politicians, number one, politicians need to be, all of them, they need to go.
Yeah,
these globalists.
I know they're mostly controlled by bribes and blackmail.
Yeah.
So that means in order for them to get replaced by better ones, the general public needs to be a bit more conscious.
Right. And whatever we're doing, for example, now I'm doing lots of rallies. We start the civil political revolution. And we need to do, I do lots of videos, educational videos. Recently, I exposed a booth, a venue in a flea market in Mississauga. They still blocked, the curving. They put on the wall. It has the stamp of Muhammad. They put in the ISIS flag. Mm-hmm. And this video now, it's gone almost 100,000 people.
Okay, good.
I exposed them. And I got attacked. I got physically attacked from the Muslim woman. She attacked me. And the police came.
So did the police help you when that was going on?
The police, they took the video, and because everything was recorded.
Yeah.
And I gotta wait until I got the report. It's gonna take a few weeks anyway. Okay. And but I exposed them. Islam. Let me tell you something. Very important for everyone to know that. It's not by the sword. It's by the word. Islam fear word more than the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Islam fear word more than weapons. Remember this very well. Because when it comes to weapons, that's what they want. They like jihad. They want to die for Allah.
Mm-hmm.
They like fighting. They like to fight.
Okay.
It's mainly we need to clean the government. Once you clean your government house, you put a leader who understands the danger of Islam. You got the political control, and after that, you would need the civil control or the people, like media, educational. Like for what you're doing now, you have a radio. Okay, you're doing what you can do. Right. Many people need to talk. YouTube, Facebook, any source of media, any media channel, any people, seminars. Get the speakers to speak. Get the rallies to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So raise awareness like that's schools, youth, universities, especially universities. Once we get speakers who can speak in university and teach and educate, we got the problem solved. We got many. It's not about just the infidels or the kafirs to understand the danger of Islam. It's for Muslims to understand the danger of Islam.
Yeah, I would think they're the main victims.
Yeah.
Because
I don't hate Muslims. I want them to know the danger of the ideology, that they are trapped. They don't know. They are trapped. They are in the trap. But they're not realizing the trap, that they are in it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just, I know that it helps to do as much radio programs and YouTube and all these things. I'm just always looking for more ways to save people from thinking that they have to kill each other, because that's really
Come out physically. What I did at the flea market, I was physically at the front of people, comforting them physically, face to face, with no fear.
Right. Oh,
come out to the imams. I always challenge the imams, and I'm gonna be doing a public ashrim at the door of the mosque. So what? Don't be afraid.
Yeah. When you came to Canada, did you have help finding a way to get a place to live and how to make a living and all that stuff, or what was it like?
It was hard in the beginning, but in Canada, thank God, the system it's different than back home. They got the shelters, they got the social assistance, they got ESL school. They help the new people to learn a little bit of the language as well. Yeah, so slowly, I find my way up, and I learned English, and I worked in many places until I finished my education. I'm a beautician. I got my license, and I thought to be independent, you know what I mean? And I had my car, I had my place, I had everything was setting up very much good. We're living on a budget, yes. Basic to basic, but everything's good.
But still more or less normal life. That's really wonderful.
And the main thing is my freedom. You have no idea how much I appreciate the freedom that I got it in Canada, the freedom of speech, the freedom of choice. I became Christian. I did not get no persecution because I became Christian.
Right.
I was not afraid I'm gonna be killed because I am apostate. But now with Mr. Trudeau bringing all these Islamization into Canada, there is Canadian imams saying it openly. Whoever leave Islam should be executed, and no one saying anything about them.
That's exactly what Mohammed said, right?
Yes.
So this immigration issue is really tricky, because people like you need to have help immigrating right away, in my opinion. Anybody who is trying to break free of slavery, in mental slavery and everything that you've described. But bringing in people who are going to become terrorists is not a brilliant plan unless your objective is, enslavement of the whole culture.
Not only that, this one I would call it invasion, not immigration, number one. And number two, many Western people, they don't understand that the war in Syria, it's endless. It's not going to finish.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, people talk about even if the Western powers are not there, there's a lot of fighting among the different factions within the Muslim countries, right?
Oh, tell me about it. The Sunni and the Shia. I grew up as a Sunni. They told us the Shia are infidel and they should be killed.
Okay.
And the Shia consider the Sunni infidel and they should be killed.
Okay, so that's enough for several thousand years of fighting, for sure.
And according to the prophecy of Muhammad, the war in Syria supposedly as he prophesied by end of the time. So basically what's going on in Syria, it's a self-fulfillment prophecy. For 3 segments, I encourage everyone to look into it. The battle of Dabiq, and the battle of Al-Mahdi, and the battle of Al-Dajjal. I encourage everyone to look into these 3 names of the battles for them to fully understand why Syria, what's going on in Syria, and to let them get fully knowledge that the war in Syria, this is just the beginning. It's endless. It's not going to finish. It's till end of the time.
That sounds right. And yet it's also true that Syria is a country with a lot more tolerance and freedom than a place like Saudi Arabia, right? Or at least it used to be before it was invaded.
Yes, and don't forget Bashar, he's Alawi. He's not, according to majority Muslim, he's not Muslim.
Well, I've heard some people call Assad a crypto-Christian. Do you think that could be true?
No.
You think he's Alawite Muslim?
He's Alawite Muslim, yes.
Okay, but does that mean that...
According to the Sunni Muslim, he's not a Muslim.
Yeah, so what is an Alawite Muslim? What does that really mean? And how can you be a Muslim that has any tolerance? Because Mohammed said that was not correct.
It's a long story. When the sect of Muslims start to fall apart, all the way at the time of the Al-Hussein, the grandson of Muhammad. It's a long history. Until when Yazid ibn Muawiyah, he killed him, it's like, it's a very long history. And when after that, one sect after another, they've been like fall apart. Again, remember, Islam and the Muslim, take it back to before Islam, it was what? It was the tribal.
Right.
So the tribal already separated from each other. So the tribal thing affected the Islamic ideology because this is the nature of that region, of that area, of that part of the world.
It's a very ancient cultural kind of characteristic, right?
Exactly. So they cannot live without being different from each other. And they cannot live without being fighting with each other all the time.
Right.
They cannot live without it. This is before Muhammad. The tribe fighting another tribe.
Yes. So at this point in your life, you're still a pretty young person, a young mother, and while you continue to work on your business for your beautician business, you're also being an educator, and you're going to do more and more with that, I guess, right? Because you'd like to spread the idea of freedom for other people.
Especially women. And then we see what happened to from this the Women March. Like it was a disaster, and now the UN they select Saudi Arabia to be the Women Rights Commission. This is a black day in women history.
Totally incredible. I mean, I don't think that's just a stupid mistake. I think there's a lot behind it.
Of course, it's a message. It's a hidden message.
Yeah.
To show, to tell the people the hidden agenda.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they feel very confident at this point that they're going to be able to complete their agenda, and hopefully they're wrong.
I hope so. We need more women to rise up. We need more the true feminists to stand. I'm actually very soon.
Exactly.
I'm going to be holding a protest at the front of the Saudi embassy to stand against this decision. And we have so many stories of the girls in Saudi Arabia. Actually, now in Saudi Arabia, if the girl tried to escape her family home, they put them in jail. It's against the law. They either put them in jail for the rest of their life until they die, or they kill them.
Okay, right.
So think of how many girls are suffering under Sharia law. How many girls they marry them off at 9 years old babies, like following Mohammed when he married Aisha. Imagine a 35 years old man having a sex with 9 years old baby.
Well, that was the example of the perfect male figure.
Exactly. Like, how is this going to be acceptable in the Western civilized world?
Well,
how they would accept something like this?
By changing it over to Sharia law is the answer. So
exactly, and I don't know why people can accept something like this. I don't know what's going on with people who's not see the big picture, because they're so naive and they're so ignorant, and many of them, they're like so self-circled. It's me all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of it, but there's some kind of, speaking of psychology, there's some kind of strange psychology that's making converts to this big feminist movement that is wanting to all become Muslim. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Because there's something called in psychology Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, exactly. It's happening
Stockholm
in Europe.
Syndrome. 99.9% of Muslim women they have this syndrome.
Well, they're getting new membership to that syndrome now for some reason. I mean, if you look at countries like Sweden, for example, where there are huge invasion waves welcomed by the government and they start raping everybody, then the women are tending to convert to that, not resisting it. And it's very strange to watch.
Yes, because again, it's a Stockholm syndrome. They surrounded to this. That's it. They can nothing. They give up.
Yeah, I guess it's an attempt to get peace and harmony by ending the resistance, right?
Exactly. But I am the opposite. I'm determined. I'm not gonna stop. We're not gonna be killed. We're not, no matter what's going on. Like these when you ask me what the people should do, they should not stop. They should be determined. Like, what makes these Islamist or Islamic ideology to be succeed and whatever to proceed furthermore is the determination.
Yeah, persistence.
Determination. Right. They are determined, and they believe, they think this is Allah, this is God is helping them.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't know it's a self. They don't know down the road. It's a self-fulfillment prophecy. Mm-hmm. And many kids are dying because of that. Many girls are suffering because of that. And to them, it's a number. Remember, the mafia, the gang, the thugs, the bandits always look for a bigger number.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They want new members.
Muhammad, he said, multiply. Multiply. Right. He encouraged. That's why he gave the men the authority or the right in their Sharia law to have 4 wives. Beside the handwright possessed an endless number of women.
Right.
Include the 6 slaves.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So imagine a man having 4 wives. From each wife, they have, like what's going on now in Canada. They multiply. And what's going on in Europe. Islam, it's not growing because also many people really falling into Islam and loving Islam. It's also number.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well,
And not just the number, it's the political power. Again, we should not give them that political power. If you take the political power of Islam, okay, and replace it with a political leader who's not gonna, they will shut the door on Sharia law completely and immune the constitution from it and work in the community. Trust me, Islam will fade. It will disappear from the face of the earth.
Yeah. So it's whether or not we can get back the original spirit of freedom and want that for everybody instead of any kind of forced belief system. So
exactly. Separation, keep the, like Canada, I came here, I was like in love with the democratic, secular separation. Think about we all united under one law for everyone.
Yeah.
And now why they want to bring the Islamophobia motion, the law, it's a word invented by the Muslim Brotherhood. And we have the terrorists, so-called, the civilized jihad. Civilized jihad. They do it in a civilized way, but at the end of the day, it is jihad.
Yeah, exactly. And tactics change as percentages rise.
Exactly. And they bring it constitutionally. You know what I mean? They play with the constitution. That's why slowly, motion one after another. Now motion M103. If motion M103 become a law, that's a blasphemy law. And motion M103, it is the blasphemy law.
Is that being considered nationally in Canada right now?
Now they passed it to do the study, but we got time until it's a long time. It's a long way to go, but God knows. That's why I'm determined. I'm doing what I'm doing, and soon I'm gonna be going for my tour across the country.
Oh, good.
Across Canada, and also after that, I'm gonna be going to Israel to speak there.
Okay.
My determination is the key for many people now, like everywhere, from Europe, from Australia, from Africa, from Middle East, from US. Many people start to follow me and listen to me, and because I'm serious about it and I'm firm, and I'm not like one of these like one very important thing as well for many people to know and to understand, the barriers. The barriers, they need to break it. The political correctness.
Well, we want everybody to catch the spirit of freedom from you. And I think the rest would follow if we can do that.
Exactly. They need to break through all these barriers. And not to be afraid to be labeled. Oh, they're going to label me. I'm a white supremacist. I'm a racist. Islam is not a race.
No.
I am a hater. I don't hate Muslims.
No.
But I have the right to expose the ideology of Islam the way it is. I have a first-hand experience living under Sharia law. I am apostate. My life in danger. My child's life in danger. Both of us could be harmed any minute. I'm putting my child's life in danger too. For what? Because I believe in the cause.
Exactly.
I rather to die when I'm standing, head up, not my head down.
Yeah, exactly.
And bowing for another just who they are. They just a human. They just like people, like me, like you, like anyone.
Yeah.
Who's gonna give the right to these people to control other people? Nobody.
Yeah. No, if people find out the power that they have as an individual, then the rulers can't do anything else after that.
Exactly. The government, at the end of the day, they work for us.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting paid to make sure the country is secured. And with all these invasion, not only invasion, now the border of Canada, it's open. It's open. Every day, criminals, they walk by.
It's just like the U.S. So
the U.S., it's in very big danger. Very big danger of the Islamization of Canada, I'm telling you. Even in U.S., the people need to wake up. All these Muslims, the terrorists, they come, they cross the border, okay? And they come, and then when they take the Canadian citizen, they can go back to U.S. and commit a terror attack.
Yeah.
Jihad.
For years, the U.S. has been inviting them in large numbers. And we have places where there are lots and lots of them living in groups and planning whatever attacks they want to do and when. And
exactly. Trust me, they are already, sleeping cells?
Sleeper cells, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There are places that the police won't go, even in America, too.
Yeah, they are waiting for the order to come. But you know why? You know why they're not doing anything now? Because they're waiting to build the caliphate.
Yeah, more numbers, basically.
The caliphate. No, the caliphate.
Oh, what does that mean, Sandra?
The caliphate. The empire, the Islamic empire.
Mm-hmm.
You see what Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi now he's doing? Why ISIS, they want to bring back the caliphate. The Muslim, 99.9% of Muslims around the world, they are waiting for the caliphate to rise up again.
Okay, and so what exactly?
The Islamic empire.
So how can you tell when that happens? What does that mean?
Okay, every sign, what's going on now around the world, it's just, this is just the beginning, because the Muslims, they believe they're not going to be able to defeat the West and kill the Crusaders and take over the world until they build the caliphate and destroy Israel and kill every Jew and then kill every Christian.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, right.
Until they build the caliphate. They want to build the caliphate. Like, see now, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, he claimed he is the caliphate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But many of them, they don't want al-Baghdadi because, again, he's a Sunni.
Oh, okay.
And the Shia, they are fighting the Sunni.
Yes.
So it's a long way to go until they find out who is the caliphate.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, very important for everyone to know something. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is before I lose the point. Islam do not believe in border. This is the main and first point that everyone should keep in mind. Islam do not believe in border. No border. Like, think of the Ottoman Empire.
Right.
They want to bring the Islamic Empire. And what's the border? Is the world. And who is helping them? The globalists.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's very
because
clear.
It's the same agenda.
Yes. Yes, unified world government.
Exactly. And who is on earth wants this? Only Islam. Like the Buddhists, they don't want to dominate the world. The Christians, they don't want to dominate the world.
Right.
The Jewish, they don't want to dominate the world. The Hindus, they don't want to dominate the world.
Yeah.
Only Muslims. Only Islam.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So,
it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Many people will be killed. Many women will be raped. Many kids will be also raped and molested sexually and brainwashed. And lots of torture. And many, thousands and thousands of people will die. And thousands of people will be tortured in jail. And many people will be killed. They cannot say nothing. Many of them, they're going to be like slaving the whole world. Imagine with me.
You're inviting people within Islam to be courageous and break free in the way that you did, right?
Of course. I want them, break my heart when I see Palestinian kids. I'm a Palestinian originally, right?
Yeah.
Breaks my heart when I see Palestinian kids holding a knife, and now they have the knife intifada, going killing for jihad. Breaks my heart when I see Hamas using the kids as a human shield. And breaks my heart when I see young youth like age of 19, 20, 21, the 20s and the 30s youth, they're going for jihad to die for Allah. It breaks my heart. Many girls like Yazidis and the Coptic and the Christian, and how many women they're getting raped every day.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that how many Muslims, they want to die for Allah. Like the concept of dying for God, they need to stop thinking backwards. They need to think forward. We're not supposed to die for God. We're supposed to live for God.
Right.
Yeah, we're supposed to live for God, not to die for God. And that's all about it. Like basically live and give life. Don't take life. Like don't take someone else's life.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. You give life.
Exactly. Well, listen, Sandra, there's two things I wanted to say. One is that if it's okay with you, I'd like to continue to have you on once in a while and support what you're doing. And the other one is if you want to let people know about a YouTube channel or a website or anything where they could see what's going on and how you're progressing, that would be good to let people know what that would be.
Yes, they can go to www.voiceofsandrasolomon.com.
Okay.
It's connected as well to the YouTube channel, and very soon I'm gonna start upload all the videos. It took me a little bit while. I was busy with my rallies and protesting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna have a little time before I go to my tour to upload every video.
Right. So voiceofsandrasolomon.com, and that will tell people about the videos and everything.
Yes, it will. It's connected to the YouTube. They can just click and they can see. And they can also help the cause by clicking at the donation. And also I'm selling a t-shirt.
Okay.
I sell a t-shirt through the website.
Okay, perfect.
I support Sandra Solomon, and on the back we stand on guard for thee, and to support the cause, to support my traveling and my rallies and my tour to Israel. I'm gonna go to Israel. My goal to make a documentary movie.
Okay,
to
great.
Expose the Islamic history, how they claim the land to them, and to expose the lie. You know what I mean about the Islam, and to support. The right for the Jewish people, the right to their land.
Yes.
Can you believe that? How Islam, it's a myth. Do you believe that many Muslims, they believe that Mohammed flew in a donkey to heaven?
Yeah, I have heard that, talking to Dr. Warner.
How stupid is this?
Well, I don't know, but I would be willing to say that somebody can fly around on a donkey as long as they don't tell everybody to kill each other.
I agree with you.
Seems to me there are priorities, right?
Yes.
So anyway, I'm really grateful that you gave us some time. I know we went way over, but I want you to hold on, and we'll say goodbye during the break here, and then we'll
be back. No problem. I just wanted to say also to everyone, I'm going to start this year, and it's hopefully to be every year, make July 1st International Burn Hijab Day. They're going to see the video on my website.
Yeah, and maybe you can get some banners or something that we can put on our website too.
Yes, it's the videos there on my website. Make July 1st International Burn Hijab Day.
Okay. That sounds a little bit different than the modern feminist movement where everybody has to put on a hijab, but I think that people...
No, this one, it's not about telling women take off your hijab. They are free to wear it if they want to wear it, but if anyone force any woman to wear it, we're against forcing, and many women, they got their face burned with acid.
I've heard of that. Yes, I know.
And many women, they being killed just because they... or murdered just because they refuse to wear it. So that's what I'm standing against.
Yeah. Well, we support you completely. So,
amen. Thank you.
Yeah, hold on here and we'll say goodbye in a minute. So there goes Sandra Solomon, voiceofsandrasolomon.com if you want to look at her website. not a lot I can add to that except to say it's an honor and a privilege to be highlighting such courageous people. She's out there speaking the truth about her experience in the face of death threats, risking her life out there with her son, and incredible. I mean, the purpose of having somebody on is not just to say that they're great, but to remind you that so are you and all of us, and that the fate of the world at this point really is in your hands. And it's the opposite of what we're programmed to believe, that we're just these, very weak and not very intelligent or creative individuals that have to be told how to run our lives and just to obey the experts. Otherwise, we're going to make mistakes on everything and self-destruct. But the opposite is true. If we can break free of the programming, like Sandra is demonstrating, and be honest and demonstrate living honestly and free, then it's contagious. And that's the reason that the rulers of the world don't want people to realize what we can become and what we actually already are. And you guys out there pushing any belief system, not just a religion, but anything that says you have to hate and kill people, either to make God happy, who supposedly hates the people that you want to kill, or some other really dumb thing that's not true. You guys don't have to be doing that, and it's really not good for you either. I mean, if you're up there flying a chemtrail plane or proliferating GMOs or killing people with drugs in some way that's supposedly good for them, cutting out their organs and suppressing the real health information, it's not only bad for other people that suffer because of that, it's bad for you to do that, because I had an interesting discussion about this earlier this week. Whatever we do really does come back to us. And it's not from some nasty God who's going to punish us like some kind of a policeman on duty. It's our own consciousness that's going to be sure to bring it back so that we're going to learn a lesson. And why not learn it now and avoid having to go through that? So, we're not out here being against anybody. I don't feel against anybody. You have to defend yourself, defend your family, your country, whatever needs to be protected. Even if you have to use lethal force in defense, that's normal, but not hating people or condemning people, going out to wipe out, sections of humanity. That's a mistake, okay? It's not a really good idea. And we got a lot of people wrapped up in that programming now. The reason for having somebody like Sandra on the program, well, yeah, it is a radio program. The reason to have her on the show is to show that you can break free of the programming that we've been trained to accept, that we have to do these really destructive things to each other. That was never true. And we're all connected, and we don't need to be fighting with each other. So this show is about waking people up. And if you want to help do that, which you can very powerfully help with that work. And the way to do it is to start on yourself. And this is not some kind of a fantasy philosophy that just makes you feel really good while everything falls apart. This is real. So the reason for the health emphasis of this program is just as step one. And that's why the real health information is suppressed by our rulers, because they know it could be step one. And if you get your health back, your mind works more clearly and you start to have self-awareness, and they can't afford that. So that's government guidance showing us it's exactly what we should be doing. And it's the fastest way to feel better. So if you want to help others, start with yourself, because that's the quickest way to be much stronger in helping the rest of the world. Get your health together, learn the forgotten rules of real health information that are suppressed by the current system. Apply them on your own body. Let us know how you do it. Call in on Saturday. We have a show on Saturday for discussion of this kind of thing, and it'd be fun to hear from you. But anyway, do it on yourself. Break free of your own programming. Find out what you feel constricted by that's really was never necessary, and you can break out of it whenever you're ready. Get your health together so that you don't have to worry about physical body issues. And then the real work starts. And that's what we're inviting you to join us in that, because the world really needs it. Humanity's kind of hanging on the edge of a cliff right now, you might have noticed, and there's a lot of really positive signs, you know, and people like Sandra Solomon are part of that, but so are you. All of us are, in our own way. And whatever you're doing in life, whatever kind of work you are, interacting with your family or your friends or other people, it's all incredibly important. And the energy you put into it is the whole issue. So this is to encourage you to pay attention to that. Be wide awake. Take care of yourself. Let your energy raise back to its normal level. And then let's change things here before humanity self-destructs. We can turn it around. Anyway, I really appreciate your being with us. Go to the website if you get a chance, lostartsradio.com. All kinds of interesting educational stuff is being updated there every day. Videos and audio and articles that hopefully you'll find useful. Doug's got a report there, a video report that he does frequently called the Diamond Report, and the ones I've heard have been all great. I recommend that. Alex Jones's news show, which I think is spectacular and incredibly valuable for keeping up with world events, is on the site with some of the commercials taken out, so you can hear it in a shorter time. It's free. The whole playlist is there, including the current show every day. It's really good service. I listen to that a lot, so get your news that way while we can. And what else? The forum is there that Doug set up for discussing issues that are important in your life, health and consciousness related, world events related, things like that. It's totally free. All you have to do is put in your email address and you can sign up for that. The newsletter's there. Information that comes out weekly before the shows of issues of interest, all kinds of stuff. And if you want to see what the school is about that we intend to build once the money is available, then go to lostartsresearchinstitute.org and you'll see details of that, and it'd be fun to hear what you thought of it. You can always give me your feedback either on the forum or on email, richard@lostartsradio.com. I read all of those comments. And I think that's most of it. If you want to support us and you happen to have money and it's not going to hurt you to make a donation, there's a donate button on each site. And if you don't have money and you're struggling to survive like a lot of us are, then one way you can help us out is if you buy anything at Amazon, use smile.amazon.com instead. And it doesn't change the shopping or the prices at all. It just means Amazon makes a little tiny donation to a nonprofit of your choice. And if you can support any of their listed IRS-approved nonprofits, Lost Arts Research Institute in Arizona is listed there. So if you want to do that, that helps too. And other than that, join us next Saturday for the call-in show if you can. It's going to be another incredible show on Sunday, but we'll be meeting here the day before, Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and talking about some of these things and see how you're doing, implementing them in your life, getting your health back, becoming aware of some of these deeper levels that we're starting to talk about. And I'd like to talk to you then. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Listen to our new shows with guests every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. All new shows and archives are available at blogtalkradio.com/Lost Arts Radio. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Lost Arts Radio. We're on Twitter at Lost Arts Radio. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/C/Lost Arts Radio. Again, youtube.com/C/Lost Arts Radio. And scene.life, we're at Lost Arts Radio/profile. When you do your Amazon shopping, please use Amazon's Smile program at smile.amazon.com. And when you choose Lost Arts Research Institute in Sedona, Arizona as your charity, Amazon will donate 0.5% of whatever your order total is to Lost Arts Research Institute to help fund the building of the school and keep our radio show on the air. Please visit lostartsresearchinstitute.org for more information on the school we want to build. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter on our site under the Radio Show tab or right from the button on our Facebook page. You're also invited to join our free user forum on our website at lostartsradio.com. You can ask Richard a question there or post about any subject that you're interested in. Our forum is growing and we'd love to have you be part of that community. We keep it troll-free, so don't worry about others, paid or otherwise, speaking negatively or engaging in some sort of debunking tactic fakery. I closely monitor the forum for abuse, and we have a very strict one strike and you're out policy, which is why we require you to register your email address along with whatever screen name or username you want to use. We also have links to all of the great independent musicians whose music we feature each week on Lost Arts Radio. And if you like Lost Arts Radio, please consider donating a few bucks to help keep us on the air. We spend many, many hours each week to bring you the best show we can with the best guests around. You can find our donate button on our website at lostartsradio.com. Contact Richard at richard@lostartsradio.com or myself, Doug Diamond, at doug@lostartsradio.com. You can also find me on Facebook, scene.life, and gab.ai at Diamondisc, DIAMONDISC. My short new video blog or vlog is The Diamond Report, and that can also be found at www.thediamond.report. Thanks again for listening to Lost Arts Radio, and we'll see you again next week.
I will save the world.